Hey, what's up guys? Chris here, back with another video. So today on Sony Alpha Rumors, there's some great information if you ask me, because I'm a Sony A7C owner. Also shooting on the Sony A7C with the Tamron 17 to 28 right now. Obviously you see me in this kind of like weird setting right now. I'm just trying to work something out right now as far as a studio situation. I don't really have a studio, I guess, in my house, so but three lenses potentially being announced as soon as coming next week. A 50mm f2.5 G lens, FE 40mm f2.5 G lens, and a 24mm f2.8 G lens. Now I know a lot of people aren't getting excited about f2.8 and f2.5, but I believe some of these are kind of like required. Some of these are needed, I think. And a lot of people that are shooting on the A7C are thinking, okay, well, you know, I've got this compact camera, and my only options to have a Sony lens that's kind of like, you know, I don't want to say compatible, but you know, it fits. You know what I mean? Like, you have a tiny little camera and a 16 to 35 f2.8 G Master on there, and you've got this like 12-foot long lens. You know, connected to this little like compact camera. You know, it's you know. And so when Sony announced the A7C back, 6 months ago or something like that, 5-6 months ago, a lot of the YouTubers were talking about how Sony was going to be announcing some more compact lenses. Now, I didn't expect G-branded lenses. I think this is great. I did not expect G-branded lenses. I expected just, you know, the regular Sony, like, you know, like the 85 1.8, the 50mm 1.8. I do believe a 50mm is kind of due, if you want to ask me. You know, the 50 f1.8 was one of the first, it may have been the first FE lens that was ever announced by Sony, and it's probably one of the most long overdue lenses. You know, you look at Canon, they just came out with their kind of nifty 50 for the RF mount, you know, a $200 50mm f1.8. I think this is going to be a little more than $200 because it's a G-branded lens. But maybe not. Maybe, you know, maybe Sony is really trying to, maybe that is why they're not, you know, really investing into their APS-C cameras, because they want people who are more than just, you know, more than a hobbyist, I guess. Not pro, but more than a hobbyist. They want people like that to go full frame rather than, you know, with their you know, APS-C cameras right now. I don't really, there's nothing about their APS-C cameras that really get me excited. That's not to say that, you know, there's anything about this that gets me excited either, the A7C, but it is a full frame, so that does get me kind of excited. But the 24mm, which one of these lenses, I guess, is the most important to me? I think the 24mm f2.8. I'm kind of in the market for a 24mm lens. I'm kind of in the market for a 35mm, but a 40 wouldn't be so bad either. You know, if these lenses are sub $500, like $400, they're going to be really great lenses for anybody who went and bought the A7C. Because, and to be honest with you, anybody who bought any Sony camera, because, you know, the A7C for compact, it doesn't necessarily mean that the other cameras aren't compact. You know, you look at something like the A7 III, and that's still a very compact camera. So these lenses are going to work perfectly fine with that too. It's going to be great with those pretty much everything. Even something like the A7S III or the A7R or even the A1, these are going to be great lenses on, I think, you know, if these are what's going to come out. And to me personally, I think an f2.8, you know, for a lot of the things that I do anyway, f2.8 is perfect for me. I couldn't beat an f2.8 because I've really been interested in the Sony 20mm f1.8 G lens. I'm really interested in that lens, and I've been watching it because it's for a vlogging channel, right? I do this channel. This is kind of something I just kind of do for fun because I'm just interested in cameras. CJ Abroad is kind of more my like vlogging channel. Speaking of which, I will put a link to a video down below. Why it's been like 5 or 6 days since I've done a video over here is because I just had my first child, so put a video down there in the link below. If you guys want to see that, if you're interested in that. But so the 24mm f2.8, the reason I'm so interested in that is because I think 24mm is a really good vlogging focal length. It's, you know, especially kind of today's day and age. Of course I would love to have the 1.4 G Master. that's like my dream lens, to be honest with you. But it's also $1,400. You know, I got a child now. There's more important things in life than cameras and lenses. So if I could get something like this for like $500 or $400, like, okay, well, now we're talking. I could deal with a 2.8 and a full frame camera. You know what I mean? Like, considering I'm coming from APS-C cameras, you know, with f4. You know, I did have the 16mm f1.4 on my A6400, but a 24mm f2.8 is going to be just fine, I think, for anything that I really want to do. I don't really want my background, especially when I'm vlogging. I think when people vlog with a very, very fast aperture lens, you know, oftentimes, you know, the background is so blurry that it's like, okay, well, one of the major points of vlogging is kind of to show your surroundings and stuff like that. And if you're just totally missing the point on that, you know, because it's so... one of the YouTubers I used to follow years ago, he's a British guy. He was one of the first people to get the... He was shooting an A7S2, always shooting his vlogs on A7S2. He was one of the first people to get the 20mm f1.4 Sigma lens when it came out. And one of his things it's kind of similar to this. You know, like there was always kind of like LED lights in the background of his videos and everything always looked cool. But he bought that lens and he started shooting at 1.4 and everything was just like a blob behind him. I mean, you know, sure, maybe it looked a little bit more cinematic and stuff like that, but it wasn't, you know, it had a totally different vibe to the whole video. So I didn't think, I even put in the comments, I was like, well, you know, one of the things that kind of draws people to your videos is kind of like the colorfulness of your backgrounds and stuff like that. And now it's just kind of like just this blob. And he kind of quit. I think he never replied to the comment. He had, you know, 500,000 subscribers. You know, he was a busy guy, full-time job and stuff like that too. I kind of understand that. But I think he kind of knew that, okay, well, this is kind of defeating my purpose of my channel, I suppose. So kind of changed that up. And yeah. I think a 1.4, 1.8. Even I was watching a YouTube video with the 20mm f1.8. One of the reasons I don't really want to buy that lens right now is because for something like this, sure. But I'm perfectly happy with this Tamron 17-28 f2.8. And to buy the 20mm 1.8 just to get a little bit faster aperture, I think this looks pretty good. Like my issue isn't how good the image is. I think my issue really is more of the studio kind of sucks. So, you know, it is what it is. It's perfectly fine. It is what it is. But, yeah, I'm interested in actually all three of these lenses. The 24 more than the other ones, and then the 40 more than the 50. I'm not really interested in a 50. I'm actually more interested in like an 85. The 40 because I think 40 is like that like sweet spot, I think, to be honest with you. I'm interested in these lenses, so when these are officially announced, we'll do a video. I should have done a video on the f150, f1.2, but again, I had the baby, so it's kind of more important things to do. So anyways, yeah, that's about it for today's video. A couple of great new lenses possibly coming next week for the Sony E-mount full frame system, the 50mm f2.5, 40mm f2.5, and a 24mm f2.8 G lens, all G lenses. So if you guys are interested in this, any of these lenses, let me know down below in the description box. And if you guys want to hear more about these lenses in the future, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.